Guys, please allow me the levity. Please allow me to bedroom. Duchess Meghan has received the season 2. And not only has she received the season 2, we are getting it during the fall. Now, normally, for those of you that are new on this page, welcome. We drag the royal rota, the haters here. And I feel it pains me that this but you know what, to be fair, whenever they announced it, I would still have had to wait maybe 24 hours to let it stew and let the royal people and let the royalists throw a tantrum. I'm still going to do it, but I feel this good news deserves an immediate response. On behalf of the Sussex squad, Duchess Meghan, congratulations. The music I was playing just now, for those of you who may not know, I am a Nigerian, proud and proudly so, of Delta Igbo heritage. That's Yoruba music, Koloba Koloba. And interestingly, that was the music that you see Meghan jive into when she was in Nigeria. I felt it was appropriate for this momentous occasion. Sussex squad, we are up. I keep telling you guys, the aim of this particular channel is to call out the BS. These people do not know what they are talking about. If you are still not sure, if you are still not clear, please explain to me how Duchess was able to secure a season 2. Did I not say yesterday that I'm going to go back to the Sun to rehash them talking about there is no way she's going to get a season 2. It is the last chance. And I will do it tomorrow once the news settles. But I just want to give us what I call a celebratory drag. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen to the nonsense. And just before I start this won't be too long. These same people, Slapped Ass, Maureen, and Big Head, they also had a live stream reaction on Tuesday. No other person in the royal family receives this type of treatment. And you're telling me this woman is not the star. The King of England has announced he is collaborating with Apple to create a playlist. They want me to believe the King of England listens to Ray, listens to Afrobeat, listens to, he was alive during the Bob Marley times. Maybe One Love is the only song that he knows. But they expect me, to believe that this man listens to anything that... Anyway, I am so overcome. But anyway, no. Let's focus on the dragging. Let's get to it.
We will stick with one of those stories that has come from Meghan's Netflix show, and that is their names. We discussed this a bit on Tuesday, but it's worth exploring a little bit more. Richard, you've written about this for Mail Plus today, haven't you? What have you...
So basically, for those of you who may have missed it, Meghan has told people, all Meghan did on that show was to let Mindy know that I am no longer Markle. My name is Meghan Sussex because it is my married name. It is my family name. Biko, reasonable people in the house. I'm confused. Is for those of you that are Kate fans, is Kate not called Princess Catherine of Cambridge? What do you think she's registered her children as? Why is this up for discussion? And in what way is this a warning? I don't...
Have you said?
Yes, since the programme's broadcast on Tuesday, I've been talking to people about this. And I think this business of the Sussex name is really important, like genuinely significant for Meghan. Because remember, not only did she stop Mindy Kaling in her tracks when she used the name Meghan Markle and corrected her.
That was like nails down a chalkboard for me.
Well, it really was.
Are these people normal? I want to presume all of them are married. I want to presume the women in some way or another took their husband's name. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't pay attention to anybody here. Please, for those of you that are married in the real world and have changed your name, was it stopping anybody in their tracks or rude if people didn't know how to address you and you told them that no, my name is now this representing my married name? So why are we talking about this? At this point, maybe it's the joy I'm feeling. This is anyway.
Well, because the whole tone of the series is meant to be really easygoing and everything, so you just wouldn't kind of correct people. So that was odd. Meghan obviously wanted that to be included, but also she talked about the same subject in her interview with People magazine. Now, what people have been saying to me on this side of the pod.
Nobody's been telling anybody anything. Maureen woke up in the morning, decided to turn it into news. Guys, I hope you are beginning to peep the play. Nobody is telling Maureen, shh. He is making it up.
Pond at the palace is that they interpret it as a warning shot. That it's Meghan's.
For those of you who don't believe me, Richard Eden is Maureen. Meghan's warning shot. So he is the one that created this story, and he is the one telling us the story. So basically, this is Maureen. This is all Maureen. This is Maureen. It has nothing to do with the palace. Or nobody spoke to Maureen. Maureen made up this story for clicks on Mail Plus.
And saying, don't you think about stripping us of our titles? Which, remember, is something which has been talked about a lot. Each time they've done something terrible like, criticise the royal family or reveal confidential discussions, as Harry did in his memoirs. What's been said in the past is it's something which could happen in the future, that the king might do it, if they carry on doing something.
First of all, the king doesn't have the power to strip anybody of anything. As far as I know, this has to go through again, I'm happy to be corrected. It has to go through parliament. And don't you think if the king wanted to strip them of his titles, they would have done it by now? If Harry can release that book, do podcast, do Oprah interview, and he still retains his title. And don't forget, Harry and Meg. Let me just remind everybody, for those of you who either watch the documentary you can't remember, that's okay. Or those of you who watched it and didn't watch it to understand, Harry and Meghan were happy to hand back their titles. They said, if you want it, take. We don't do again. They refused to collect it back.
Else. Well, this is Meghan's way of saying, don't even think about that.
What? Do you think that's true, Rebecca? I mean, the timing does seem weird, and especially it does seem like
I'm going to need somebody at some point. And I'm going to look at, I can't believe I'm saying this, Becky Bighead. Becky, I think out of the three of these clowns, you're probably the only person who has interacted with somebody in the royal family and maybe to some extent done some research. When this man starts talking nonsense, why do you never push back? Why do you not say, Or like, even if he's your friend, that, okay, maybe... What? Somebody here has to have 0.5% of journalistic integrity, at least.
A little issue that's become a big thing because she's made it a big thing.
I mean, she definitely was making a point of it, because even if that was her off-the-cuff reaction, you might look at it and go, do you know what, that doesn't really come across very well, can you cut that out? I mean, she is, as we see very clearly at the end of the show, the executive producer. It's there in black and white, Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, and clearly she wanted a point of it being kept in. The one thing I would say is that I've always been guided that there is no intention whatsoever of stripping them of these titles, because the king, a bit like their HRH.
So she has basically just now contradicted what he said. More or less said that he said nonsense. So why is nobody asking Maureen, who was the person that told him that they were going to strip her title away? Sorry, the titles away. Maureen, who told you? Since you're saying you've heard, they've told you, sources have said, who is the person, Maureen? Because Rebecca is now saying, actually, no, she's not actually heard that it's going to happen. You have literally contradicted yourself right now in this conversation. Do you see how these people are ridiculous? And these are people that you want me, to be taken seriously. These are who you want me to trust information. If what Netflix has just done now, amongst the 11 million things that have been proven to be utter and complete nonsense, anybody is still believing these people, I don't know if it is a lack of critical thinking. I don't know if you like the OG Big Bad Kinsey are all collectively psychotic and you all need some sort of mental intervention. Hey, look, no judgment. This is a safe space for mental health. For those of us doing weight loss and have had to struggle with the pushback of gaining weight and struggling with your health, you're not just your physical health, your mental health. This is a safe space. But I'm going to be tough. Nigerians do not mess around. If you, after all these things that have been proven to be false, you still believe any of these people, I don't know what to tell you at this point, but let's drag them anyway.
To take them away completely feels that it would be a humiliation too far heaped on his son, and that it would really mean there would be no going back.
But technically, what you're saying is it is a possibility.
It could happen. It was a gift of Queen Elizabeth, effectively, when they got married, and obviously the king is, head of state and head of the family, and effectively it could be his gift to take away by what we call letters patent, which we spoke about fairly recently, which is this kind of written expression of the king's wish, which becomes effectively law.
And let's be clear here, we're dealing with, I would say, paranoid people. And I've written about this in my article because there's a previous example of this, which is that when Archie was born, on his birth certificate, he was Archie Harrison, Mountbatten Windsor, and the Sussexes briefed favoured journalists that they wouldn't be getting titles. Well, then we saw in the Oprah Winfrey interview that it was a big issue, that they felt that he was going to be denied a title.
Yeah, but why wouldn't they raise it as an issue? Why is everybody getting, and do you think it's right? Harry is the biological blood son of the king. His brother's children are getting titles. It has never been done in history, in precedent. Unless Harry did not want titles for his children and say, keep them. It has never been done that the children of royals do not get titles. So why was Archie excluded? And it's a fair thing to ask. Why exclude my son? And he was right to raise hell about it, because if he hadn't raised honest public questions, why are you excluding Harry's children from titles? They probably wouldn't have gotten those titles back. So instead of you as journalists to question the king, why is it Harry's children you are refusing to give titles to? You are here acting like they are being paranoid. Paranoia is not what plays here. Fairness is, rightness is, law is. And this is how these guys are assholes. They are intentionally towing the party line of the palace, even when the palace is wrong. It's like they know the right thing to do, but they don't want to do it. But they want to play the party line, trying to make the Sussexes trying to steal away their credibility. Why did the king try to not give Harry's children HRH that they are entitled to? Why? Why did Harry and Meghan need to bring it to Oprah on a public forum before they got those titles back? That is the real disgrace. I don't mean to get angry, but I'm glad he reminded me, because that pissed me off. There was no reason to not give them those titles. Part of the reason why they had to remove those kids from there. Sorry, they had to remove Archie and by proxy Lily from that environment. Why that humiliation?
And they were really outraged by this. And in fact, Meghan went on to suggest that she thought that was because he was mixed race.
Do you have another reason, Maureen?
So it was an explosive allegation, which was based on nonsense, because it was basically the rules are that grandchildren of the king, of the sovereign, would have the title. But at that point, Archie was a great-grandson of the monarch, Queen Elizabeth. So when Charles became king, he did have the right to have that title, which they've gone on to use. But
Do you see how stupid that argument is? And he's swallowing because he knows what he's saying is nonsense. He's swallowing because what he says is absolute nonsense. So why didn't that apply to George, Charlotte, and Louis, or whatever you call him? Why didn't the three of them have those same problems? Why is it Harry's children that they decided to use a technicality of a technicality? Last I checked, the Queen was alive when Louis was born, when Charlotte was born, when George was born. Why didn't they get the same thing on their birth certificate? Maureen? Or does critical thinking run out? Do you know what? Do you know what? Let me change my words. They know what I am saying is true. They're just trying to play the party line. Because if you think about it logically, what I just said is true. By that argument, nobody should have gotten a title until Charles became king. Just talking nonsense as if people can't think.
My point is, they are very sensitive about these issues, my goodness.
Well, they are, and it's we will put a link to the article in the description below if you want to read that from Richard. But it does also beg the question about, we've talked about when William is king earlier. It feels like it's something that the spectre could be raised again when he is king.
Well, it's definitely something that could be done very easily if they cause more trouble. I mean, look, it doesn't take a great fancy, but let's say this amazing TV series of Meghan is not the success that Netflix had hoped.
I would love to see Maureen's face when this news comes out. Oh God, I wish I could. Do you know what? I'll keep an eye out for it, guys. And if you see anything, please ping me in the chat. If he reacts, I'm going to link it and react immediately. F you, Maureen. She got a second season. We're getting it in the fall. I have a feeling this is a season of continuous, consistent Meghan content. Sorry, all of a sudden my mood is happy again. I love when we get them.
They might say, we're happy to give you another huge deal, but only if you do another programme about your relations with the royal family.
Yeah.
And at some point, the King or Prince William in the future might say, you know what, I do not want them to be tarnished with this royal dukedom, this royal title, they're embarrassing us. So, Meghan...
You know, Maureen goes to bed at night masturbating, probably dreaming of the day that they say, oh, let's take the title away. It's not going to happen, Maureen. Ha! And the thing is, even if William wants to be petty, I promise you, not only will Meghan and Harry not give a toss, because let me remind everybody, they offered to return the titles back. It will make William look even worse than he does now. People don't like William. There's no from what I've seen, they've clearly been teaching him how to look concerned and carry his empty folder as if he's working. Nobody likes you, William. We see past the BS. That's why people keep on getting worried that when Charles goes, the monarchy is over. Nobody likes you, William. You are a bad monarch. What with the situation with your brother continues to make you look even worse. The fact that your wife is lazy and doesn't add anything to the royal landscape even makes you look even worse. So yeah, I would love to see William try. I will be here, of course, to drag everyone.
Meghan's saying, if you do that, you've got a fight on your hands.
Wow. Well, we'll answer some similar questions in a special viewer Q&A that we're putting out on the channel. So look out for that early next week. Now, Richard, there was also another apparent contradiction.
Maybe you should do another video next week talking about how are you coping now that Meghan has a season 2. Losers. Woo!
Between what Meghan said about her name here and what she said about it before.
Well, this, I think what you're referring to is again in the Oprah Winfrey interview, where people have picked up on this actually. They've gone back to that interview. And she made a point when she was, whining about how awful it was to be in the royal family. She said that things were taken away from her and, including she's almost lost her name. And that seemed to be a reference to the Markle name, which she was sad about losing. Well, that's the interpretation people have put on it. But then now she's saying, don't call me Markle. she's telling off her friends, for using the name. So it's quite...
Okay, I've had enough. So basically, Maureen went back to watch the interview. I don't know who he's calling people. Yeah, right. Maureen went to watch it again and decided to. I don't know if she actually said that. You guys, that I didn't watch the interview properly, to be honest, because at that time I wasn't really paying attention to it. Sorry, Megan. But like, if you guys find the interview and you actually did hear Megan say that they were trying to take away her name, it's very useful to get context because these people lie, as we've shown. So yeah, I just wanted to use this as a way to congratulate Duchess Meghan. This came out on Thursday. This is Friday. Ooh, I feel like I should get a live reaction. You know what? I'll keep my eyes out, guys. But as soon as it comes out, I will drag these people because you know they will be weeping tears of pain. But once again, please, let's congratulate Duchess Meghan. Those of you on the Instagram, please. Well, okay, she doesn't allow comments. It would have been nice to give her some comments. But yeah, Sussex squad were really flying. This week has been a blessing. Keep liking, please keep subscribing, please keep sharing. Sorry for the ramble I went off on. I'm so happy. And yeah. Yes, let's celebrate. Happy Friday, guys. Take care.